gluten-free food is too expensive. It's very difficult to just say to the government, sort it out, gluten-free food is too expensive. So we needed to find a point of something that we could focus on. People who said to me, I end up eating gluten because I'm the celiac, but I need to be able to afford for my kids to live. Parents are very much like, they'll do anything for their kids. Like a year on, where have we got to? Like, it's just like, oh, we've got this nice picture. I've got a nice picture of me standing in front of number 10. But I would far prefer that there was actually change. I think that TV commissioners and stuff understand that there is a whole world of people. There are so many people who will run with it. They have to eat gluten-free. They don't get a choice, so they will watch it.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. This is the second time, isn't it? Do you remember the first time I was in my flat in London?
Yeah, I was having to look to see when I was last on, because I was like, I need to know what's happened so I don't just repeat myself from last time. So the last time I was on this podcast was mid-2023.
It was a while ago, yeah.
So I don't know how fast the time's gone, but I think since then I seem to have written a lot more books and done a lot more things.
So this is your 8th book now, Feel Good Gluten-Free.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you find the time? And is there a point where you're running out of topics? Is it really difficult?
I think topic-wise, I personally am slightly running out of topics, but I'm very fortunate that I've always said this, I don't really come up with the recipe. I come up with the literal, physical, technical recipe, but the ideas come from my audience. The amount of things that people ask me for, and are like, there's probably still loads of things that I haven't done.
So you get loads of ideas from the community.
Exactly.
And that,
Like, for example, in this book, there's a recipe for fig rolls. And that is something that when I went on the photo shoot, my photographer and everyone was like, what on earth? Why are you doing fig rolls?
Yeah.
That's a bit old school. But it's been years and years of people nagging me, like proper nagging me and saying,
to do it,
like in the previous book, Budget, there's a recipe for gluten-free Jaffa cakes. And I even credited the girl who pestered me every single time I did a Q&A on Instagram. I asked, ask me anything. And she was like, where are the Jaffa cakes? And so eventually I did them.
She was very persistent.
She was very persistent. And then the same with the fig rolls. So for me, it just shows that everything I do like that is inspired by other people. But I will admit it's still getting a bit harder.
After the 8th book, do you get time to enjoy the process? I know with this one, sometimes you don't have that time to reflect. They're so successful, but I know you're always on to the next thing. And do you have time to have that kind of to stand back and be like, it's so amazing, all the books and everything you've been doing?
I would say no. I'd say this time I'm not at the moment. Usually when I'm writing a book and then I publish it and I'm supposed to celebrate, I'm writing the next one. Yeah. And I'm constantly, my publisher is like, I think my publisher's like, oh, the books do well, write another one. And I'm just, because weirdly, in the publishing bit that I'm in, I write books for Penguin Random House, but I've got an imprint within that, and I'm their best-selling author, which is ridiculous and should mean something more. It should mean something because they're gluten-free books. They're not. They do cookbooks by some amazing TV chefs and everything, and I sell more than them. So they keep pushing me. They keep wanting me to write more. But yeah, I don't get to celebrate.
I think it's incredible the relationship you have with your community and very unfiltered, and you've kind of took on this journey when it started off as a blog.
I think that's the thing. That's why, in a way, I don't get to celebrate it as much as I want to, because, for instance, on publication day, I get messages from my publisher saying, "Oh, hope you're having a great time, having a party, get the champers out." I'm on my Facebook group making sure that everyone's book arrived and no one's was damaged, and all these different things, and people have maybe an issue and they're like, oh, someone else's book arrived here, and then someone else is like, oh, mine hasn't arrived yet, and I'm like, I just want everyone to be happy. So I value looking after the community more than celebrating, because at the end of the day when I go to bed, I'm like, at least I've done my best, and that's what's most important to me. So at some point I hope maybe I can go on holiday or do something or just remember that I can only...
What does Becky do in her downtime then?
What do I have downtime? I don't have a lot of downtime. I'd say the thing that I do the most is sit on the sofa with my dog and watch sport. But then when I'm watching sport, my laptop is open and I'm replying to comments.
Like messages, yeah.
So I think it annoys my boyfriend Mark quite a lot because he's like, let's just watch telly. And so I'm like, oh yeah, sure. But then there's always the phone or the laptop checking, because I just worry that like people like almost rely on me to like answer their questions, and I welcome
you don't have
that.
this like big team. I think sometimes a lot of these like people with these pages, I think they've got people working. It's I think
a lot of people do have big teams. They have managers, they have assistants, but whilst people have always told me that's what I should have, I don't. It's literally just me. I'm the one who answers every question. Yeah. I am the one who writes the books. I'm the one who does it all. Luckily I've got 5 moderators who help me with my Facebook group, but they are just people who I asked for people to sign up and they did it, and now we've become friends, which is lovely. But did someone shout my name? No, I heard something. But yeah, it's been a lot, and my biggest thing is that I never want someone to reply as me, because it's me and my voice, and I don't think anyone can be me but me. So I can't allow for others to. AI
has not replaced that yet.
Oh my god, AI is. AI has its uses, but not in this space. I've seen enough stuff on Facebook where AI is being used, and I'm like, this is so wrong. It's scary.
I'm bad at writing, so sometimes I like put it through that.
But that's the thing. There are ways.
But then it takes away your kind of who you are, like when you wrote it a certain way.
It's all about personality and stuff. And for me, like, there's so many people who do the same thing, and the only way you can be yourself is like being authentically you. So I just try my best.
At the start, because I remember I've got an Allergy page, and when I started off, like someone said to me like, you don't have the biggest confidence, or you don't have the biggest like personality, and like it's quite hard. Like, and it's someone I respect at that time. We're not friends anymore, but like, and I think just being yourself is probably the best way, because it like if you put on this whole bravado, you can't keep that up for 7 years, and then when people meet you in person, you're like, well, you're not the person you show up online.
Yeah.
Have you always felt like you've just been your unfiltered self from the very start?
I think I can only ever be me, and that was a problem when I was younger. Like when I was younger, being myself, like through secondary school, I was just literally being me, and all the people around me, my friends, were like, they were changing who they were changing their personalities. They were like, right, we've got to 13, 14 years old, let's talk about boys, let's wear makeup, let's do all this stuff, just all the stuff that as teenagers growing up. And I was like, I can't do that, I don't want to do that, I like sport and I just want to be me and happy. And that lost me a lot. But I think in this day and age, being your authentic self online it's made it easy, because I can just chat as me, and I can just, I bump into people around here. Last night when I went out and had some pizza, I bumped into people on the way back, and I could just, they shouted my name, and I looked around and I went and gave them a big hug, and I can just be myself, and
that's incredible.
And it's just really nice to be able to do that. So
I'd love to ask you what's next. Obviously, you've mentioned about doing a cooking show, and you've kind of been reaching out to people. How is that, and is that something we would expect in the future?
I would love to say yes, but it's probably no. It's so annoying, like that whole space, the world of TV. I mean, when I was looking at when I was last on, I hadn't done This Morning at the point at which
that point where we did the last podcast.
It was before This Morning.
You've been on a few times now.
I think it's been 6 or 7 times. So it's amazing that I've been able to do that, but it's hard work even getting on there, and I don't have a team, so it's me just pestering and being that real pest all the time, like, please can I come on again, please can I come on again. They're like, oh, not this time, and eventually they let me on, and I'm really, really grateful that they have, because I've been able to put those points across, raise awareness, talk about cross-contamination on like mainstream television, which I think is really important. But the next step of trying, I've spoken to production companies.
I think it is the next step, because it's always they turn down like these massive YouTubers with platforms, and like TV didn't want to touch them, and now they're on I'm a Celeb, Get Me Out Here, and they're kind of taking their audience.
It's so hard though. They just think that gluten-free is niche. They think it's boring, and I'm like, firstly, it's not niche. Secondly, it's not about it being boring or fun, or that's not what it is. It's a serious thing. It's not a choice for people. And I'm not going to say that, I don't find being gluten-free a bit boring. Sometimes I do. Like, it's frustrating sometimes. But I want to shine a light, and I don't think that TV commissioners and stuff understand that there is a whole world of people. There are so many people who will run with it. They have to eat gluten-free. They don't get a choice, so they will watch it. Other TV programs, it's probably a bit like hit and miss. Like, well, we hope people watch it. I've got an audience. If I say to them, I'm going to be on TV, please watch it, it will help us raise awareness.
I think it's one of them. You should just do your own like production company or start off on YouTube, and then you never know. You would hope like it would get picked up that way.
I mean, we've been building like a little studio in our garden because I've got really sick of like living where I work all the time. So we had like an outbuilding, like just a small like garage, and it's taken us ages because building work and cost, but we're almost there now, and I'm hoping that we've set it up in a way that we can have cameras. We've got beams that we can have cameras on, so maybe it can be, maybe I can start something small, and then maybe if I show that it's doing well, maybe someone will take it. Maybe it's something that has to go on, like, rather than going on BBC One or ITV, maybe like one of the streaming platforms, like Netflix. I don't know, maybe it's the dream still, and I'm not going to say it's any more than that, because every time I speak to someone, they seem really excited, and they're like, "Oh yeah, leave it with us," and then you don't hear anything. You go back to them, and they're like, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, nothing happened," and then you see them commission like something really, really boring and just like absolute rubbish. But clearly, it's a business, isn't it? So I just know that I don't think I'm stupid. I think I know that it would work. I think it would do well. And I think the whole gluten-free, celiac, allergy community needs more representation in the mainstream, because otherwise, like, we get it, we understand it like fully, but I don't think the wider world understands it quite as well. And that's
definitely
who we
like
want
cross-contamination, or I do a post online and I get like so much like hate, because like I'll do a video like getting on an airline and asking
I've seen some of those,
and the amount of like comments I get, and like it's like 50-50, but then sometimes it's just like part of the parcel, but it's really frustrating.
I've seen some of your posts, like where, because you've got a really serious nut allergy, right? So when you go on flights and stuff, you need to have like an area around you or something.
So basically when I get on a flight, I had to like usually pre-board before anyone else, and everyone's like, what's wrong with this guy? Because obviously like it's not like I've got a label on top of my head saying I've got a nut allergy. So I get on the flight and I'm cleaning down the trays and surfaces, because the planes are really dirty, and usually the time they're not clean from the flight before. So I've woke up where I slept on a train, I had hives all up my arm. I thought, oh my God, I've eaten something, I'm gonna have an allergic reaction, and like it's so scary. And like you find that's a lot of time like people have touched the train, touched the mouth and not realised. It's very scary.
Really scary.
I'd love to kind of find out about the work you've been doing with Coeliac UK and the petition. Can we jump into that?
Yeah, of course. So early last year, there was a petition there's endless petitions. I'm sure you see all the petitions online constantly that come about, but there was a petition last year that Coeliac UK set up, and we actually got it to Parliament. So I literally got to I got to stand up in Parliament Square, and
how was that experience?
It was really cool.
I always see Julianne in Parliament. I'm like, take me with me.
I want to go more. It's great. And then I got to go to Downing Street with the guys from Coeliac UK. And basically the petition was, it needed a focus. So the ultimate thing is that we want gluten-free food to be cheaper. Gluten-free food is too expensive, right? I can see lots of heads nodding. I can see people raising their hands. But it's very difficult to just say to the government, sort it out, gluten-free food is too expensive. So we needed to find a point of something that we could focus on. So what Coeliac UK wanted to focus on was the whole prescriptions thing, which I know not everyone gets.
I was unaware about this as well, having an allergy that obviously you had a prescription where would you get like bread and...
So people who, quite a long time ago, people who were, like everyone who was diagnosed celiac all over the UK had the opportunity to get some gluten-free food on prescription. So you get you pay your prescription fee, I guess, and then you get a big box of way too much bread that you wouldn't know what to do with. But gradually over time, I think Scotland still get it, Wales still get it, but they also have, they've been trialing like a card instead. So instead of getting this prescription, you get like a card with money on it that you can use on stuff, which I think's kind of a better idea. But then England, it's been gradually being taken away, and it's sort of decided by integrated care boards across the country, and it's become a bit of a postcode lottery whether you get it or not. So our sort of petition was about, it shouldn't be a postcode lottery. It should be something that everyone gets because it's not a choice. So they shouldn't choose who gets it. But I will say, whilst the experience was incredible. Yeah. You go there, you do all these things. There's lots of publicity around it. I'm thinking like a year on, where have we got to? Like, it's just like, oh, we've got this nice picture. I've got a nice picture of me standing in front of number 10. But I would far prefer that there was actually change. It's like some of these members of the House of Lords came out, some MPs came out. They all came for the photo and then they left. And did they do anything? Did anything change? No. And that really frustrates me. And I feel like it's all just almost a bit performative of what they did. It's just to say, look, we spoke about it, but then nothing actually kind of goes away and then we all sort of clap and are like, oh, well done, good job. But we're months and months down the line. Food is still expensive. And I do appreciate the reasons. I never want to sort of go, I know a lot of people think, it's like brands and food companies that are just overcharging massively. Maybe some are. I know quite a lot of people who run companies and are manufacturers and stuff. And I've been in the factories. I understand that there's a lot of testing that goes into it. Yeah. The ingredients you're getting, like the flours are coming from like Southeast Asia because they're Asian flours and stuff. They cost a lot more than wheat flour. So there's lots of reasons why maybe it is a little bit more expensive. I don't think it should be as expensive, but I think the government needs to be held to account a little bit. That's where they need to help. If manufacturers are finding it too much that they're having to pass on the cost, help them. And there's been no more conversations since. No, there's been absolutely nothing. And we see all these additional petitions online, but it's made me quite skeptical about it all, if I'm honest. And we shouldn't feel like that. Obviously, we still need to push, and I'll never ever stop pushing. But it's not as it should be. Yeah. It's like I said, it's not a choice. People here having to live with it. The amount of people that I spoke to yesterday who are newly diagnosed and are really, really struggling with the whole thing of it. And even people who've been diagnosed 20 years are really, really struggling still. And we spoke about in families, you mentioned earlier, sometimes on low incomes could struggle and gluten-free food could be so expensive for them. I think some sort of stats that came out a couple of years ago, and it's probably worse now, to be fair, that a gluten-free shopping, a weekly shop, is about 35% more than a regular shop, which is just absolutely crazy. And like I've said, I've spoken to people who have said to me, I end up eating gluten because I'm the celiac, but I need to be able to afford for my kids to live. Parents are very much they'll do anything for their kids. So they're the one we see that. And obviously that's absolutely terrible and not okay. And they know that it's terrible and no one should ever do this. Yeah. But some people I've spoken to have actually gone that far and been like, I'll be fine. I just need to get by. And we shouldn't even ever thinking that that's anything ever. And I mean, when I did a talk yesterday, a lady was saying trying to encourage people to say if you're giving stuff to food banks and stuff, if you can, just even if it's just one of the cheaper things, it's 20% off in a few supermarkets at the moment. Perfect opportunity to, if you're going to give stuff to a food bank, give something that's free from. We don't know how it's all distributed. Maybe some do it better than others, but just the fact that it possibly could help someone out could mean a lot. It's a good idea. I don't know if there's a food bank specifically for the free form. There should be. It should be something, but. All these things, I have so many ideas. I'm sure you have so many ideas as well. Getting them all sorted out and actually pushing for them, it's so hard. What is the next step? It's really difficult to say, isn't it? What would be the next steps to be do we rally the community together again? But you had 22,000 signatures on Coeliac UK, and it's really difficult to find. It's just getting in front of the right person, and then they might change positions, and then. Because the same thing with Owen's Law as well. I've heard there's a lot of movement at the top, and it's really difficult. You keep trying, and I just don't think that there's the care out there as much as there should be, and I just don't think there's the understanding and the education. So I think with everything, the most important thing to me is that there's greater We need to somehow just push education and
How do you find
understanding.
them like eating out? Do you think in hospitality, do you think more restaurants are aware? Is it difficult? Like, it's just another conversation.
Eating out for me, like I try to be really positive with everything, and I would say absolutely eating out compared to 17 years ago when I first went gluten-free. I didn't eat out at all. Like when I was at uni, I mean, I didn't have much money either, but eating out was just an absolute like minefield, and I was really scared. Obviously now I do eat out, but do I eat out as much? No. Do I enjoy it as much? No. Do I just go out because
when I'm eating out
do I just sometimes go out with my family because they kind of want me to, but actually could I make better food at home than what I'll be offered? And you know, would I just feel safer in my own house? Yeah. Like there's some places that do it really well, but also for me on a personal level, I've got like some additional dietary requirements beside gluten. So, you know, I see people posting about a really good gluten-free restaurant, and then it's like, yeah, but I can't eat this and this and this. So actually there's absolutely nothing for me. And that's...
Do you get quite anxious, would you say? Because I know I've got severe nut allergy, see, and I get so anxious, like, do they understand that they're going to take it seriously? Are the chefs aware? And then like, I might pull it on the necks on my t-shirt and pull it down and say to a partner, I may have an allergic reaction because I get like so anxious, I get like a red rash, like
I think
sometimes it'd be really difficult.
That's the thing. Anxiety can then make you feel kind of unwell in other ways. Like as a kid, especially in like growing up, and still even now, like anxiety for me is a big thing, and it makes my stomach drop. So you get those weird feels as well. But I probably just get more frustrated than anxious. Like I'm sure like with you, your anxiety, like it's really like something absolutely terrible could happen in that very instant, where you could go into anaphylactic and stuff, and it's. But for me, it's just I just get really fed up because I won't eat anything that I'm not sure about, and I'm a lot more strong-willed, and you know if I'm not sure, I'm more than happy to sit there and watch everyone around me eat, and I'll just sit there. I wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. I would have been like really. I don't know. When you're younger, you just feel a bit more sort of like.
Is there a bit more awareness in hospitality? Would you say?
I would say there is more awareness, but I think there's still a lot of places that say, "Oh yeah, we offer gluten-free," and you think, "Oh, there's more gluten-free. We see gluten-free everywhere. Oh yeah, we can offer it. We can offer it." And then when you delve deeper,
it's like cross-contamination.
The fryers. I cannot believe there is still issues with fryers. It's absolutely outrageous. Like we know gluten can't be killed by heat, but they still don't get it.
Still use the same fryer.
Yeah, and things like there's some. Obviously, I always like to emphasize there are some amazing places that do it really, really, really well. But you'll still see a bakery that's offering cake, and whether it's lack of education or lack of care, I don't know. But they're using the same cake slice as they're using for something else, or you know, they're just grabbing something with their hands and sort of thinking, oh, we won't, no one will see. They don't even think about it. And it's like, no, this is really serious.
It happened the other day, like myself and Jacob, like my business partner, just on it. We was trying to get like some Subway, so we went to Subway, and as we got there, we realized like some of the cookies have like nuts in it. And they're squashing the sandwiches and touching the cookies with the nuts in. So like massive risk of like cross-contamination, and you could ask them to like change the gloves, but then you don't know who's going to squash the sandwich, because there's another guy who's wearing no gloves at all, and I'm like, the risk of and I thought, you know what, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to do the podcast, because in the back of my head I'll be like, I'm having an allergic reaction, or I'm getting worked up. So
it's a really uncomfortable thing, and it makes you feel like, it makes you then feel a bit like a problem. And I'm allowed to say that we all feel like a problem. You're allowed to say it about yourself, but we don't want anyone else. If you're not gluten-free, if you haven't got an allergy or celiac disease or anything, you are not allowed to call us a problem. We're allowed to call ourselves that, absolutely. But we shouldn't feel like that. But I do, like, when I have to do the whole thing of asking, oh, can you change your gloves? Can you do this? You sort of, I don't know, as someone who's quite shy and introverted, that sort of thing like makes me sort of think, oh my God, so I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll just not have anything, and I'll just leave, and I'll just be like, this just doesn't feel right.
It's really difficult. I think it's a very British thing to not feel like you're being a burden, and like I'm always saying to people, like definitely with allergies, like you need to like speak up, and like but it's difficult sometimes. I completely get it, because everyone's different in the way they like approach it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying yesterday how the talking on the phone, like calling up restaurants and stuff, you need to call them up ahead of time and ask them if they've got options, and how they do it all. I hate talking on the phone. Like
right.
I'm such a baby. I can't talk on the phone. I find it really uncomfortable. But the only thing that I'll talk on the phone about is like restaurants and stuff. I'll call them up because I'm just like, it's either that or I just go to a restaurant and I'm terrified of what's happening. Your screensaver's gone.
We've got fireworks.
We've been talking too long.
I was going to say that, We're right near the end. I really want to kind of close on, like, if there's one thing you kind of want for people to kind of take away in the gluten community, either about yourself or the book, what would you share?
I think overall, I'd like to just do like the whole thing that I just want more people in this world to be educated, to understand that gluten-free is not a choice. And more importantly, that gluten-free, we sort of associate it obviously with food, but ultimately it affects so much more than food. Like our everyday lives can be affected massively, like in terms of socializing, you know, like I've been talking to so many people who are like I talked to someone yesterday, a couple with their son, and they were like, he goes to Cubs, but he's not allowed to go on Cub camp because of, you know, they just say they can't cater for him. And
it's so different. It's like you're singled out and stuff. Like I remember when going to kids' parties and you can't have the cake and like I know like some even pizza sometimes and like your mum be there with your takeaway pizza.
It's like, hard, and like the whole thing of like when you actually speak to these people in real life and you actually get these like actual moments where people give you really different examples, because like we sort of talk about them and we've all heard them, but when you hear like something like I heard yesterday, I'm just like, wow, that's really frustrating that people don't get that. Like I don't care that I can't eat something sometimes, but if it then affects me not being able to go and do something, it's like I've been really fortunate. I've been invited on an event in a few weeks' time to Portugal for a few days with a brand, and I'm over the moon. I never get to do this, only 2 days, but this same brand that I'm going with, last time I went to an event with them in London, they didn't cater for me food-wise. They just gave us tons of alcohol, no food, dangerous. And when I begged, I literally begged for food. And if people have seen I posted this on social media, a picture of what I was offered. I was offered a bowl of lettuce, no dressing, and they were like, sorry, this is all we have, but we have put some freshly sliced radish and some chopped chives on top. And that was like supposed to be like, thank you, I was supposed to be grateful. And I will say, like, it was a massive bowl. I ate every last scrap, so they probably thought it was good, but it was like
just to fill a hole.
And that sort of, you know, that makes me think, like, I'm actually now quite anxious about going on this trip, because are they going to cater for me again? And I think that to me, that lack of education and understanding and the severity that we're not just doing this for fun. It's not like, you know, just something that we could just change if we wanted to. We can't change it. It's with us forever. And I think if more people were educated, which I guess we are, and everyone here is collectively trying to push, then other people understand. So, you know, if you're going home today and you live with someone who isn't gluten-free, just tell them stuff, educate them more. Like, I'm sure lots of people have great families around them, but other people, you might have some family members who are great, others who are not. Work colleagues who are great,
just
work
keep
colleagues
reminding
who are
your family.
Just keep reminding
when it goes to family
people.
events, there's always like they know I've got an allergy, but they always forget, and you walk in, they've got like nuts on the table. I'm going, no.
Yeah, I always remember like certain family members, some who aren't with us anymore, like especially older people, they just sometimes they try their best. They try their best, and you feel like you want to be nice to them, but if you're ever in that situation and Granny's made you a cake and hasn't remembered that it's got gluten in it, don't be polite. Don't just go, I'll have a slice, I'll just have a nibble. It could do damage, and it's not worth it. Just her feelings will be much worse if you rush off to the loo, you know, and you're ill. And if she knew that she'd done it, she would never want you to eat it. So always be careful. And I mean, the most important thing, look after yourself. Yeah,
I think we'll end on that. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Becky.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. Thanks. And listening.